Hello everybody, Hellcrex here, just doing an update. What's going on here on the table? It's been a few days since I done one. Some of these stuff you've seen in the last Musty Wargamers video, but just never got around to taking the time to do a video. I was going to do it on Friday, but hey, I had an emergency. I had to run out to Wyoming. So I spent the Friday and on the weekend running across and back, taking care of stuff. So now, time for the video. All right, you can see here we have some Kellhounds. Right here we have some Pegasi. These are Pegasus hovercraft. And you can see they got the two-tone look to them. And then we got the Goblin infantry fighting vehicles. You can see the little infantry bay in the back right here. These are 3D printed resin vehicles. Someone else printed these off. And, well, I do have an STL for my printer to do these. So now I can print more of them when I want to. And I'll show you some of the stuff I printed off here in a little bit. So I got 2 lances of combined arm. So actually it's 3. So we got a company of vehicles. And you could have, well, 2 platoons of, or 2 companies of infantry that go with it. Because typically 3 platoons is an infantry. So you got 3 line platoons and maybe an HQ platoon in each vehicle. So there you go. Then over here we have some mechs done up. If you remember, I did the video. It's like I was complaining about, it's like I had to cut this Jenner off the base because it was like canted like that. So it's like optically it drive me crazy. So I cut it off and reattached it so it's facing the forward hex, which makes sense. And we have a wolfhound here. So paint it up. These have been sealed already. And then we got a panther. Not too bad looking little mech. And we got a hunchback. Always like hunchbacks. Very useful. Kind of a terror weapon in some ways. And we got an enforcer. Dual wielding large lasers, that version. And we have a grasshopper. Alright. And then a Victor. A big old pumpkin slug thrower. So, yeah, this is going to be part of the city assault squad, basically. A little bit of mobility with this one for the Kellhounds. So we got those guys all done up. Let's move this offside. And over here, got some more Battletech stuff. We've got more goblins. You can see they're gray and black at the moment. That's how far I've gotten these. The gray is going to be white, and where you see black will be the blue. So it's going to be Lyrian Guards. So we got 6 goblins. I need to print some more off to finish out that lance of. So we'll have 2 lances of goblins. So the force structure is going to be similar to this. And then we got 2 lances of Pegasi there. So a little bit of fast mobility. And then we got a blackjack here. We got the blackjack. And got another, I think that's another enforcer. Yeah. And I forget the name of this thing. Yeah, it'll come to me. And then we got a jumping hatchet man there. We have those, and over here you can see what's currently being worked on. The current project, another one, the Orruks for Age of Sigmar. This guy, all I have to do is work on the base for this one here. Finish the base out, and then I ran out of Screaming Skull, so I have yet to finish the skull on its top and the two horns that's on him. Otherwise, he's done. So I have to go out and pick some of that up the next day or two, because I want to open up, and it was like typical GW paints. Something that I purchased not too long ago was already dried out, even with it sealed. You know, it's like, I'm not very happy with GW pots. They just dry out so quickly. And I can have some paints over here. It's like I got paints on there that are 30 years old and are still viable. And you can own a GW paint for 6 months and it's gone without even opening it. It seems dries out. And over here is the other project. Let's move this out of the way. Bring him over. As you can see, this is Daredevil. I was working on him in the show the other night, so it's like getting all the details and stuff picked out on him. Still have to go around his face right here. It's like up to his nose and then down to his chin. There's a section right there that's going to be exposed, where you're going to see flesh everywhere else. He's got like a pullover mask type thing with horns on it. So I got to take care of that. And then where you see the brown, this is like armor plates on him. And they're going to be kind of a darker red. He's going to have lighter red everywhere else. And these are going to be a little more dark red. Same way with his armor plates that he has on his two forearms there, and his knees, and the boots on the other hand, I'm going to, you can see his belt also will be a darker red. Same with right here. These will be kind of this is more like an elbow pad. And his boots, I'm going to leave them brown, and the back side of this will be brown, but I'm going to go in with details and bring in, so you can see a lighter brown, and then I'll put a wash over top of that to darken up a little bit. So it's a dark brown, but you'll see all the details with all the belts and buckles and everything that was holding his boot on. And then the armor plate, the same thing back here in the back of his arm. You can see that he's not ready to fall off. Maybe I'll pull him off. There. You can see in the back of him, he does have his clothing's red underneath. I got to bring all that out. But the webbing on the back side, leather straps, and then his elbow pads, I'm going to bring. Same thing, effect on his boots. And his gloves are going to be like a chocolate light brown. And then his pads right here on his armored plates will be a dark red. Similar to what you see in the cracks right here. Effects like that. But it's going to take a little bit of work to pick it all out. And then the gargoyle itself, it's been put a dark wash over it to darken it up. Then I'm going to come in over it again with a lighter gray, and so it has 3D effects. And I have to do a brush over on the base plate, which it's staying. I'm looking at like a sandstone kind of effect with the plate that it's sitting on, this base plate. So it's going to be like a sandstone top of the building with the gargoyle on top of it. So that's what I'm going to go there. Then over here, you can see, sorry for the fast cam, this is the stuff I've printed out on my 3D printer also. The Daredevil is also 3D printed. But, you know, it's like some of these backs, like the Fafnir here, you know, came out pretty good. Nice little things. This Black Knight, had been driving me crazy. This is like the third Black Knight I printed out. The first ones I printed, these are the first bag. These are, I consider, all fails. They came out great, but I consider them a fail because the size. They're itty bitty. They're like Mech Force scale, and they're all freebies. And it's like itty bitty things. Like, yay! It's like when you get them scaled up against, like here. This has been sized up. This is a Hatchet Man or Axeman compared to a scaled up version I did. And the very first one I did of that, it was like that big. It was like almost a half the size of this. So I scaled it up, and I was like, it's even still small. But this guy will become a Axeman instead. So we got a Hatchet Man and an Axeman, like little brother type of thing. And then we got Bull Shark. We got a Yeoman. This is a Victor. I'm really thinking this guy needs some beef to him. So if I print him off again, I probably will make him a little thicker this way. So I can do that. So I can make it. I don't mind the scale side to side, but I think he needs a little more beefiness to him. And we got an Archer. That isn't too bad. It works. Fits on the base. It's about the same size as the old metal ones. And then we got this Warhammer here. Not bad. Orion. Looks pretty good. And I'm not too enamored with the look of this. It's supposed to be a Centurion. That's what you get when you... It's free. It was a free STL, so I just printed it off. And I was like, yeah, not too great. Now this was a free Vindicator. That looks good. I don't mind the Vindicator. It looks pretty good. It'll fit right in. And I have 3 Cataphracts here. I don't need any more of them, but for some reason... when I was printing off stuff, I always had to have cataphracts. The cataphract seems to be the right scale. And I always left one on the plate just for reference, and I ended up printing 3 of them as a result. And then we have the Rifleman 2C. We only need like 9 more of them, right? A couple stars worth. Yeah. Got a Salamander. I think the Salamander is probably still a little small. Same problem I have with this Victor down here. I think this thing needs a little more height, a little more thickness to it. But it's a model, it's printed. And then you got the Stalker. Look at the size of the Stalker comparatively. Like, yeah. It's got thickness to it, but it's just tall. But it still fits on a base. Where's the base at? It does fit on the base, but probably have to do some scaling with that. And have a couple urban mechs. And we got 3 wolfhounds. Lots of wolfhounds. Some of these will be painted up as Kellhounds, and some will be what do you call it? Lyrian Guards. So never have enough Lyrian Guards, I guess. And over here, got a couple Hunchbacks, different version Hunchbacks. I got some of these already that I purchased, but here's those. Have these guys out for scaling, because like this is like, look at that, it's like scale. No, small. These things will. Turret looks great, but the hull is like teeny beady things. And you look at the size of this Ontos. Yeah, it's like supersized. Like, good grief. That's like 2 hexes in scale. Like, worthless. So I tried scaling it down, but I scaled it down a little too much. But it's like, the hull looks fine for the length, but it needs some width to it. you can see I need to just a little bit more, you know, for width wise. It might work out that way. So I'll just have to play with it. Now these bulldogs look good. We got 2 lances of bulldogs, look good. And we got a couple air transport. These will probably end up being Carnavs. I'm printing off a couple more, so I have a whole lance of them. They're being printed now as we speak. And then I had to print off a few of the little Savannah Masters. Nasty little buggers. So I got 2 more lances of those. And once I get done with, I also have them. It's really nice is that they're so small. It's like you get something on the plate that you're printing, and you just toss them inside the little nooks and crannies. Where, you know, it's like, oh, I got a little void right there. Can't put a vehicle or anything, but I can put a Savannah Master in it. So that's how come I have that many already. So I just like, yeah, let's throw some more in. Eventually we'll have a whole bunch of them. Then over here, we got a whole bag of, these are Chaos Dwarves. Let me see here. Little body of the Chaos Dwarf there. Looks good. And their weapons. Add to it. Let's see. Head in here somewhere. There's one. Got a head. Just put the head on it. And extra arm where you're holding it. So you got the one arm holding it, and you got to have another arm that's on the other side going underneath the weapon to hold it in place. So there's 40 of little guys in there. They don't take up much space at all. And one part of them are command, but well. And I found this. It's like a Eldar Warhorse host for Epic 40K. Sitting in the bottom of my drawer, buried there for decades probably. I started building stuff off of it. So there's like, what was it? Howling Banshees. I think I took some Howling Banshees off of it right there. There's 5 of them, so I made a stand of Howling Banshees. Oh, there. Little guys. Back in the day, epic stuff. Infantry from the Imperial Guard made great infantry for Battletech. Yep. They're the same scale back then. Alright, so that's the current update. What's going on around here in the command bunker. So I go, that's about it. So hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Elker X out.